Hey folks, as we're getting ready to move into our next module, I wanted to record a quick video to explain some of the details of one of the assignments you have coming up in this module to make sure you can do your best job on it. Specifically, the assignment is the crime scene sketching assignment, and again, this assignment can be found in the module section of our course. I'm going to go ahead and click on the assignment, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it. When you click on the assignment, you can see the assignment instructions show up. You can see that for this particular assignment, you're supposed to choose a bedroom in your home, and you're supposed to create a finished crime scene sketch of that room. It's important that you see that the word finished is highlighted. It's important that the sketch that you submit is a finished sketch, not a rough sketch. And if you need to review the section in the textbook that talks about the difference between finished sketch and rough sketch before you start, I recommend you might do that. For this particular sketch, you're supposed to include all major items of furniture in the room in your sketch, and at least 4 items of evidence in your sketch as well. So you can plant some items of evidence in your sketch, so maybe a shoe or a knife or whatever you want. Make sure to include the measurements in your sketch that show the exact location of evidence items using one of the methods discussed in our chapter. Those methods include the compass point method, the triangulation method, and the rectangular coordinate method. I recommend you use the rectangular coordinate method. It is the easiest one to use. It is important that your sketch include some required elements, which are the dimensions of the room, a compass, which is a north, south, east, west indicator. Your sketch needs to show all points of entry into the room, so doors and windows. Make sure you include the dimensions of those in the sketch. Your sketch needs to have a legend, a key, and also, like I mentioned before, the measurement showing the exact location of evidence items within the sketch. When you're done with the sketch, and by the way, the sketch can be either hand-drawn or you can use software to make the sketch if you want. For example, you could draw it using Microsoft Paint. But when you're done with your sketch, if you use one of the software programs, simply save it and then send it to me as an attachment in an email. Or if you hand draw your sketch, simply scan the sketch using a scanner, or you can take a digital photo of the sketch and then send it to me as an attachment to my email. Again, my email is listed here, brett.little@phoenixcollege.edu. Next, I wanted to show you some examples of some different sketches and kind of go over kind of what's right with the sketches and also some of the things that are wrong with the sketches. So I put some sketches in a Google Slides presentation that I want to show you guys. So here's a sketch. There are a lot of good things with the sketch. There's one glaring bad thing with the sketch, which is I wouldn't really consider this sketch a finished sketch. It's really more of a rough sketch. It does have a lot of the required elements. It does have the dimensions of the room you can see. So we see the dimensions of the walls. We can see points of entry. We see what looks like a door here and a window here, including also the dimensions of those points of entry. We can see major items of furniture, a table and a couch. We do see some evidence items. Looks like we have some blood here. We have a victim. There are some measurements. There is even a compass here showing the north-southwest orientation. But again, this is not a finished sketch, and so if a student turned this into me, they shouldn't expect to receive full credit for an assignment or for a sketch like this one. This is certainly an example of what would be a finished sketch. It is not required that you make a sketch that looks like this, in that it doesn't need to be generated using any sort of software. It could simply be hand-drawn. But this is a good example of a finished sketch. This is something that most people, I think, would feel comfortable showing to a jury. There are a lot of the required elements that are supposed to be here, but there are some things that are missing. Things that are here that are supposed to be, we do see that there's a legend here, because we can see that there are numbers here, for example 6, 7, 8, 9. If we want to know what those items are, we can simply look over here at the legend. For example, item number 7 here is a piece of jewelry. Item number 5 is a catalog. We do see that the sketch does have a compass. We do see that the sketch is drawn and is scaled appropriately. That's an important thing. Notice, for example, the couch, the size of the couch, and then the size of the victim. Every once in a while I get sketches turned into me but from students where the couch, it looks like it's only 2 feet long and the victim looks like they're 12 feet long. So it's important that everything is appropriately scaled and proportioned. We do see points of entry, so we see that there are doors, we see that there are windows. Some things that we don't see, though. We don't see the overall dimensions of the room, indicating that the length of the walls. There are no dimensions indicating the width of the doors and windows. And there certainly aren't any measurements showing us the exact location of evidence items. So, for example, what we'd really like to see is, if we want to know exactly where item number 5 is, we'd like to see a measurement from this wall, which is a fixed point of reference, to item number 5, and from this wall to item number 5. Again, this wall is a fixed point of reference. We don't have any measurements here showing its exact location, so we're missing those things. So again, this sketch, although it looks pretty good, is missing some of the required elements. This sketch, a little simpler than the other sketch, but it would be acceptable, but again, there are some things missing. We do see a point of entry. It looks like there's a door here, there's maybe a window here. We do see again that there's a legend. Things that we're missing in this particular sketch, I do not see a compass indicating north, south, east, west. This doesn't quite seem to be drawn to scale. For example, notice the size of the victim here relative to the size of what appears to be a knife. This knife must be huge compared to the size of the victim. Also, we don't have any dimensions, so we don't have the dimensions of the room, we don't have the dimensions of the window or the door. We don't have any measurements telling us exactly how far away the knife is from these two walls. So there are some missing elements here that, again, this wouldn't be an assignment that would be worth full credit. This sketch, very similar to the other one, there are a few more things that are supposed to be here. We do see in this particular sketch that we do have some dimensions now. We can see that this wall is 12 foot long, and we can see that this wall is 7 foot 6 inches long. We do see major items here, but there's no legend. So, for example, I think this is a couch, but there's no legend for sure telling me it's a couch. I'm assuming that this here probably is a gun, but again, a legend over here on the side, if it was typed out here, would tell us what that was. We do see that there is a compass here, which is good. We do see points of entry with dimensions. Again, one major thing that we're missing here, though, is there are no measurements telling us exactly where the evidence items are located. So, for example, we'd like to see a measurement from this north wall to the gun, telling us how far away it is, and then also a measurement from this east wall to the gun, telling us how far away it is. So, not a bad sketch, still missing a few components, though. All right, this sketch is getting closer, though. We see that there is a legend here telling us what each thing in the sketch is. We can see points of entry, so we see windows here, we see a doorway here. We can see this time that we do have dimensions of the room, and we have measurements this time. So, for example, item B, which appears to be a gun, we can see that it's looks like 10 foot 8 inches from this wall and 5 foot 5 inches from this wall. So we do have measurements here this time, which is good. What we're missing in this sketch, again, is a compass. We don't have a north, south, east, west indicator, and there are no dimensions for the windows or the door, which we would like to have as well. But this is getting a little closer. All right, this sketch is not bad. It has a lot of the required elements. It has the dimensions. It has the entryway, a doorway here. We can see that for the most part it's drawn to scale. One of the major problems with this particular sketch, though, is the method used to identify the location of the evidence items is a little off. It looks like this particular person used the triangulation method, which is totally fine. So we can see that there's a measurement from the edge of the bed to the gun and a measurement from the edge of the bed to the gun. The problem, though, is when you make your measurements, they should be from fixed points of reference. And if this is a bed, since beds can be moved, they're not fixed points. So what would be better would be to make your measurement from a fixed point, which would be a corner of the room. So what I would have done differently is I would measure the distance from the gun to the corner of the room rather than the gun to the corner of the bed. But this is actually not a bad looking sketch. All right, this sketch is one of the better ones that I've received. Most of the required elements are in this sketch. We can see that the sketch contains the dimensions of the room. We can see that the particular sketch contains entryways. We can see that there's a door here. We can see the major items of furniture in the room: bookcase, fireplace, couch, table, and they're labeled. One of the things we don't see, though, is there isn't a legend. So, for example, item A, which looks like it's maybe a glass. We don't know what it is because there's no legend over here telling us what it is. Item number E, looks like that might be blood, but again, a legend would tell us for sure. One of the things we do have here, which is great, is we have measurements indicating the exact location of those evidence items within the room. And one of the things we're missing here is there is a no north, south, east, west indicator or compass. So even this sketch, as good as it looks, is still missing a few things. So anyway, I just wanted to record this quick video, let you guys know specifically what is required in the assignment so that there's no confusion. If you have any questions, if you're not entirely sure, then please don't hesitate to contact me. You can call me, you can send me a Canvas message, or you can send me an email. All right, folks, hope you guys have fun with this assignment. It's a lot of fun. Have a good one.